The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the X and Y show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt. And if you can hear a little difference in my voice, is because I just purchased my Rodecaster Pro. And let me tell you something. I should have had this thing 2 years ago. It is amazing. And usually I don't promote shit if I'm not getting paid. But this machine is amazing. If you're doing podcasting and you're serious about it, I would say definitely invest in one of these machines. It's definitely worth it. All the bells and whistles that it has, everything is under my control at the touch of a finger. I mean, it is amazing. So, yeah, I should have had one of these things. I love it. If it was a woman, I would lick it. I'm just saying, this thing is amazing. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. With the show. Another week is gone by. Next week is Halloween. I told you this month is passing by so fast. Before you know it, it'll be turkeys and pilgrims and from many people. A lot of times right after Thanksgiving, the Christmas stuff come out. So it's not like it used to be where they would kind of ease into it. Right after, it's like November 1st, the Christmas shit come out. So we're getting there. I can't believe this year has passed by so fast. And, this is my favorite time of year, even though we're still going through this pandemic. I can't believe we're going through this this late in the game, but, hopefully it will get better. It's starting to spike again, but, all we can do is live, right? And things get better. They have to be positive. So hopefully the holidays, people will be a lot happier. And that's all we can really ask. So anyway, I'm going to get into the questions. First one is from Zach. Zach says, in your opinion, what is the right age to get married? Well, Zach, I think there is no right age. I think it totally depends on the two people that's going to get married. Both of you are not ready, then no age is right. I've seen people in their 20s that get married too early and they end up getting a divorce and all that. I've seen people in their 50s that they're not ready and they get divorced. So there is no right age. The key is that both parties are ready. The man have to be ready. The women have to be. Both people have to be on the same page. That's what's important. Age is not important. I've known people that have been married since they were 17 and 18. They're still together today. So they were ready to be married even at a young age. So I see people today in their late 50s and 60s that still are not mentally ready to be married. So age don't mean shit. It means, nothing. What is important if both parties are ready. So that's how I'd answer that, Zach. The next question is from Kiera. Kiera says, love your show. Thank you, Kiera. Even though sometimes I disagree, I like your honesty and bluntness. What do you have against women with kids? Here we go. Kiera, I do not. I've answered this question many times from angry women. I don't have anything against women with kids. It's just that it's not my preference. If I see a woman, two women standing next to each other, I see one of them with kids, and they're single, of course, and I see one with kids, and I see another one with no kids, I'm going to go to the one with no kids. I'm not going to pursue a woman with kids. That's just my personal choice. Now, there's men out there that don't care, but I do. And I'm not saying that it's impossible that I won't get with a woman with kids. I'm just saying it's very unlikely. I'm not going to pursue them because it just brings on, it's difficult enough, between two people and making a relationship or a marriage work. And you don't need other factors that complicate shit. Dealing with the exes, the kids start disrespecting you because they know you're not their real father. All of that bullshit that you have to deal with from extended families. I choose not to deal with that. Some people, they choose to deal with it, and that's fine. That's their choice. My choice is not to deal with it. So I would prefer to date women with no kids. It's just less trouble, less chance for trouble. Now, there's some instances where, there's other extended families where the kids weren't the man's or the kids weren't the mother's, et cetera, et cetera. And the family turned out perfect. There's always exceptions to the rules. I'm not saying that just because you marry someone with kids, you have no chance of having a happy marriage. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I don't want to take the chance. I would rather, I don't have kids, so I want someone starting off just like me. I want someone that, when we have kids, they don't know what the fuck they're doing either. I don't want a veteran. Yeah. So I don't know why that's, that pissed so many women off. I guess, there's a lot of women out there that are single mothers and they don't like to be disqualified because of their kids. But that's real. I'm being honest. Women always say, be honest, just tell me the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I'm being honest. That's what I desire. That's what my preference is. And a lot of other guys feel this way. So it's not that they disqualify you because you're a bad person. It's just because, they disqualify you because, they don't want to go through the bullshit that could come with a woman having kids already. So that's all, Carrie. I still love you. Kiera, I still love you. I appreciate you listening to my show. But I'm just not going to date you. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let me get into this week's episode. This week's episode. Do women overlook good men because of their height? I'm going to repeat that. Do women overlook good men because of their height? And right off, I'm going to say that absolutely yes. I mean, it doesn't matter what, how old the women are. It doesn't matter what race they are. I mean, I've seen different colors, and, they say the same shit. And short men are not liked. And I think it's unfortunate because, and before some of you started, making assumptions, I'm not short. I'm 5'11". Really, I think I'm 5. I used to be like 5'11 and a half. I don't know what the But I'm 5'11", so I'm not short. I guess that's average height. I think tall is like 6'2", 6'3", whatever. But, I have friends who are short. I have a good friend that I went to college with. I won't say his name, but, he listens to the show sometimes. He know he is, a short motherfucker. But he's 5'4", and I noticed, he's always trying to say he's 5'4.5", trying to give himself that extra half an inch and shit. Sometimes he even go 5'5". But he catches hell from women because of his height. And I've seen other men as well that catch hell from women because of their height. And you think about it, a lot of times women do overlook men because of their height, and they could be passing up the one. They could be passing up the one because of how short he is. And I know a lot of dudes that are tall who are real assholes. To be honest. I know a lot of tall dudes that are real assholes. So I don't know why women equate that, you should, if you're tall, you're a good guy, you're a good catch. But if you're short, you're not, acceptable. Who started that shit? I mean, how long has that been going on in society? Has it been something that just started, or has something been going on through time? I would say it's probably the latter. It's probably short man were never liked. But I think it's very augmented in today's society. Every woman wants a tall, dark, and handsome. That's the first adjective they use. They want the tall, dark, and handsome. That's what they want these days. And I think it's a bunch of bullshit. And, I don't know why women fall for that dumb shit, but it's just where we are in society. Society is so physical that bullshit things like height determines if a guy is a good man or not. That shit don't even sound right by me saying it. But that's the way it is. That's the way of the world. That's where we are. And that's why a lot of women are walking around single as well. So I looked up an article done by Psychology Today, I'm sorry. And they did an actual study on this shit. And I thought it was interesting, the things that I discovered. They did a big study, over 160,000 people. They say it was 5 primary reasons why women would prefer taller men. The first reason, women prefer to date taller men. Tall men attract more desirable partners. On average, women have a strong preference for tall men. In fact, women care more about dating taller men than men care about dating shorter women. And that's true, because men don't give a fuck about all that shit. Need a tall woman. Now, as a preference, I do like taller women. I like Amazons, like 5'10", 5'11", 6 feet, 6'2" even. I don't give a fuck. You can be taller than me, because when I lay you down, I'm about to put some, so I don't care. So height don't mean shit to me. And to most men, it don't mean anything. Women is the only ones with that bullshit. Now, like I said, my preference is taller women, 5'10", 5'11", 6'2", whatever. But I'll date a short woman, 5'1", 5'2". I don't give a fuck about it. And most men don't. So I just want to reiterate that. A study on women and men's height preferences found that women are most satisfied when their partner was 8 inches taller. And I got 8 inches for them. So that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't matter, because I got 8 inches for them. But, this is... Finally, researchers have found that women married to taller men report being in better health, have lower BMIs, body mass index, so there's less obese. More education and higher incomes compared to women married to shorter men. I found that very interesting. The second reason, people view short women and men as less attractive and less successful. Participants viewed short men as less socially attractive, less successful, less physically attractive, less well-adjusted, and less masculine than both average and tall men. Interesting. Number 3, tall people make more money. Economists call the height premium, and I heard that before. More height is associated with higher earnings. Okay. Actually did a study, found that for both men and women, a 1-inch increase in height is associated with a 1.4 to 2.9% increase in weekly earnings. They actually studied this bullshit. I don't know. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4, taller men are more educated. So they're saying, which that makes sense. So if taller people make more money, then they're more educated. So that's number 4. And lastly, tall men are more healthy. So they're saying, tall men, they're in better shape than shorter men. So in a nutshell, women are passing. This article was saying basically that women are choosing taller men or they prefer taller men over short men because short men are less educated, less healthy. They have a higher BMI, body mass index, which means basically that they're fatter. Lower household income, and they are less attractive. Let me repeat that. Women prefer taller men because shorter men are less educated, less healthy, higher BMI, lower household income, and they're less attractive. Those are the reasons why this article say that women would prefer taller men. Now, I think this article from Psychology Today, I think that it is bullshit. This is why I don't cater to all this psychology and all this bullshit. It's not that simple. Excuse me, back up. It's not that complicated. Women are not that deep. Okay? I know a lot of you going to be mad at that one. I be getting a few emails, but I don't give a fuck. Women are not that deep. They don't give a fuck about they do, but when they look at a guy that's tall, they're not thinking about all that shit. He probably makes a lot of money. He probably has more education, and look at him, he's in shape, and they're not thinking about that shit. All they see is a tall guy, and they like him. They gravitate toward him for that reason. It's not that complicated. Women are not that deep. Okay? They don't give a fuck about all of that. It's all about if he's tall. If he's 6'4", then he's a good catch. If he's 6'3", he's a good catch. If he's 6'6", he's a good catch. If he's 5'5", I don't want to date that guy. But this guy could be a doctor, he could be an engineer, he could have 3 or 4 degrees. I mean, they don't give a fuck. He's short, so he's disqualified. They don't need to know anything else about him. He's short. That's all they need to know. And that's bullshit. Women are always saying that guys are always judging them on their appearance, if they have big titties, or not, and they have a nice ass, and they have pecs in their damn stomachs, and all that bullshit that women do. And they mad at men for judging them off their appearance, yet more women judge men off of their height than ever before. I mean, you know a lot of people. Half you women that are listening to this podcast right now would not date a short guy if he's under a certain height. If he's 5'5", 5'4", oh no, he's too short. Even though they're 5'1", 5'2", they don't give a fuck. 5'4" and 5'5", that's too short. Really? But that's how society has grown. Society cares about bullshit. And the result of that is a lot of women are walking around alone and they're missing out on good men because of how short they are. They see a short man coming, he's all, oh no, I could never date that guy. Yeah, but he's a doctor. Yeah, I don't care. They don't give a fuck. All they care about is height. And it's all generated from society. Society views tall men as a good catch. That's what it's all about. No one wants to go against society. When you see a woman that dates a short guy, that's a strong-minded woman. Because she don't give a fuck about what society says. She just wants a good man. That's the only thing that's important to her. She don't give a fuck about 6'4" and 6'5" and all that shit. She just wants a good man. That's when you see a woman who's 5'10" and the guy's 5'4". Yeah, she don't give a fuck. That's a strong woman. That's a lucky guy to have that woman. But that's very rare. That's very rare. Because most women would not do that. Most women would not go against society, the pressures of society. Everyone wants a tall guy. No one wants a short motherfucker. But what makes that tall guy better than the short guy? Nothing. They're the same guy. They have the same education. Or maybe they don't have the same education. Who gives a fuck? If it's a good man, that's the only thing that should matter. That's the only thing that should matter. If it's a good man, why the fuck you care about how tall he is? So if he's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and he's whooping your ass, and I'm giving an extreme though, is he still a good man? It's all about the pressures from society. It has nothing to do with the quality of the man. If society accepted short men more, then short men have the luxury of having more dates, and the tall man would be left out. But society leans toward the taller man, so the short guys are getting the short end of the stick. A little joke. But, this is something that goes on every day. This is something that's been going on for years, decades, centuries. This is not anything new. Even today, people talk about Napoleon, Napoleon complex, and they talk about Napoleon, he was short. Who gives a fuck? One of the greatest generals in history, and they always reference his height. Do you notice that? When they talk about Napoleon, they talk about he was a great general. He was one of the best generals in our time, and blah, blah, blah. He was short. They always bring that up. Like, what does that have anything to do with him being a great general? Who gives a fuck he's short? So we've been doing this for a long time, and that's something that we need to stop doing in this society. And it's doing nothing but preventing women from getting a good catch. I mean, think about it, ladies. Now, those of you who refuse to date short men, how many men do you think that you have passed up in your lifetime? Good men, good catches that you passed up just because he was short. How many men do you think that you've done that to? Some of you have done it to quite a few. Some of you, maybe not so many, but I guarantee you that within every woman, there's at least 5 guys that have come across your, depending on how old you are, that have come across your way that you just totally disqualified because of their height. And they were good guys, good men, good workers, good providers, come from good families, respect women. They were good catches. And you disqualified them because they were short, because society says that that's not attractive. That's not what you should want. You should want a taller guy. He's better for you. And a lot of you fall for that bullshit. And a lot of you are weak-minded that you actually let society influence your preference on a man because of his height. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my life. But that's the society the way we live in. That's the society that we, listen to. Why do we give society so much respect? Why do we give a fuck what society think so much? So, you ask the question, do women overlook good men because of their height? I would say the answer to that is absolutely yes. It's been going on for centuries, and it'll go on because women are not going to go against society. Now, I might be proven wrong, 10, 20 years from now. Maybe short men will come into style. I hope I'm wrong. Because there's a lot of good brothers out there and good guys who are finding it very difficult to find a wife because they're short. And that's just bullshit. So I want you to think about that next time, ladies. When you look at a guy and he's not tall, he's not 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", he's not tall. I want you to think about if you're actually passing up the one because he's short. I want you to think about that. The next time you run across a short motherfucker, I want you to think about that very hard. How many times are you going to get the opportunity? Maybe it's in your destiny to be with a short guy. You don't know. How many times are you going to take that chance? You could be waiting your whole life for a tall guy. A lot of good short guys right in front of your face, but you're disqualifying them because society says no. Are you going to let society dictate your life? Are you going to let society control your happiness? Ask yourself. Anyway, that concludes another episode of the XY Show. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check me out on any avenue that you listen to. I'm on, what am I on? Lipson, that's what I broadcast from. I'm on iHeartRadio, TuneIn. I'm on the Podbreed Network. That's a great network with me and a lot of other good podcast shows on there as well. So check out podbreed.com. I'm on Apple, Castbox, TuneIn. I'm on Stitcher as well. So be sure to check me out, subscribe, and I would definitely appreciate it. Also on social media, I'm on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Be sure to check me out there and follow me as well. And also go to my website. It's all there, www.thexyshow.com, www.thexyshow.com. Everything is there. Social media, listening avenues, everything is there. You can also leave me a comment, give me constructive criticism, any recommendations for episodes, whatever. Go to my website. You could definitely do that. So I will see you next week, and I want you all to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.